What's going on, guys? We're at a house today to perform a normal maintenance. I had a few people ask. I figured we'd make this video since it's a crappy rainy day. It'd be a good video to do inside. How to do a leak search with a leak detector. All right, I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but we're gonna do that video to get you an idea on what to do once you get your leak detector, how to use it, how to do the leak search properly. So we're gonna go inside and we'll get started. Not a whole lot of light in here, so hopefully it can be okay. Well, it's a big unit today. I think it's a 4-ton. So I done swapped out the filter. Part of our normal maintenance, if the systems have a little bit of age on them, we'll go ahead and look at the coils, the evap, and if it looks fairly rusty, then we'll go ahead and do that leak search. It has had a history of having to add refrigerant in the past, so now would be a great time to do it since we've got to slow down a little bit and can actually take a little more time on these calls. So, all right. So I don't know what kind y'all have, but I've had a few different ones. I've had the best luck out of this. The field piece, the heated diode one, is the one that I like to use. The infrared one I've heard doesn't work as good, but I've never tried it, so I can't really speak on it. All right, so we're gonna get this thing opened up. So there's your leak detector here. I put the heated diode in whenever I first bought the kit. You have an extension right there that you can add to it to make it longer, and you have the little needle nose one that you can get in really tight places with, but we're just going to use the regular one today. All right. So almost every leak detector, the infrared one might not have to, but most of them have a warming period where they have to warm the diode. So you go ahead and kick that on. We're going to let it run over here and get warmed up. It only takes about 2 minutes, a minute maybe, but we'll let that keep going while we go ahead and get the door off this coil. So I'm going to get the door off and then I'll start the video. You will hear it whenever it is warmed up. There you go. And I like to keep it on high sensitivity. It might be a little sensitive, but you can always pinpoint if it's detecting a leak by pulling it away from the coil and going back in. So let me get this door off and then we'll get started. Alright, we got the door off. We're going to go ahead and start the leak search now. So I usually like to keep my curved where you can get into all these places. Another thing you want to make sure is that this blower, everything's turned off, because when it's blowing hard through here, it can mess the leak detector up. We'll start down at the bottom. You'll put it right beside these little rungs and just go let it sit for just a couple seconds in each spot that you want it to do, and then just slowly work your way up it. I usually get about halfway and then start working my way back down on the other side. So we'll go from this side, slowly work our way back down. Bottom corner is where I find a lot of them. Alright, so we'll keep going up this side now, and you also want to be careful not to get this tip wet. If it gets wet and pulls water down in this, it'll destroy that diode. So just try to not touch it completely against it when it's wet. Just sort of hover it right above it. Sorry there's not a whole lot of light in here, guys, but I think you can still see it fairly okay. So got that side done. We'll do this side the same way, and then we're going to go and we'll check all the other places where there's welds. It don't hurt, just if you see any oily spots into the fins, you could put it back there. If you wanted to be super thorough, you could pull the coil out, go around and check the back side of it too. So, but we usually just run it across the front and all these spots. So I'm going to do this right side now, and then I'll come back on and we'll do these all these other spots. Okay. All right. No leaks found on that side either, so we're going to go across all of these. All these cap tubes, you want to just run it over those real quick. Find where they connect at and just hit it real fast, even though we probably did most of these already. And you also want to check your cap right here, where if they have it a place where you would put a TXV and all that, you just want to go ahead and just check around here and make sure it hadn't started leaking. And we'll check around where the orifice is. I'm going to go over this spot one more time. I was just visually looking at everything, and it feels like there might be just a little bit of oil right here in this area. So we're gonna check it, go a little slower. If you think you might have a leak at a certain place, you might want to let it sit a little bit longer and go in more little crevices, see if you can pick it up. It's hitting, so we're going to pull it. We're going to pull it back away. Let it reset. Okay. And go back to that same spot. There it is. So I hope you know, don't go too fast. I'm sure on the last, you could rewind and look. I went right over that spot and it didn't really pick it up. So you might want to go slower, a little slower than that if you wanted to be really careful. And one other thing with this type of leak detector, and the majority of them, I know you can spend a ton of money and find one that works a little better, but it has a hard time with R22. 410A, it picks up just like that. R22, it has a little bit of a harder time picking it up. Sometimes it's delayed a little bit. Sometimes it's it'll skim right over it, just like it did that first time with me just then. So you might want to go a little slower when you're dealing with R22, just to try to make sure you get a good pickup on it. But yeah, we found it leaking right there, luckily. So I'm gonna go let them know what we found and see what we can do to help them out. Hope this helped, guys.